Hello everyone, good morning all of you. So, आज की first news. Many of Trump's priorities work for India. जयशंकर जो हमारे foreign minister हैं. The US administration interest in multiple polarity, technology and connectivity is promising, says External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. He also welcomes initiative that will keep energy price affordable. Setting the shifting geopolitical order, energy, technology, and connectivity in initiative, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said the several priorities of US President Donald Trump and his administrations were promising for India. I think we see a president and an administration which, in our parlance, is moving towards multi polarity, and that is something which suit India. He said, clarify that by practicing multipolarity, the Trump administration was in impact promoting it. Mr. Jaishankar was speaking at Chet Chatham House, a London-based think tank, on Wednesday during an official visit to the UK. The US had been thrown off as a bloc with the West since 1945 rather than as a national. But now the US own self perception is more as a nation, the minister said. I think from President Trump perspective, the one big shared enterprise that we have is quadrilateral security dialogue. Mr. Jaishankar said, referring to the grouping India's, the US, Australia and Japan. Because quad में हमारे यही four हैं, India, US, Australia and Japan. Each quad member was playing a यहाँ पे जो each है वो हमारा नाउन है, each quad member, इसीलिए आगे क्या है, was playing its fair share है इनके पास, जो भी रहेगा equal share रहेगा, fair share he said. And so there were no sparks about burden sharing. Financial burden sharing has become a central issue between the US and several European countries in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, यानी नाटो की जो है हमारे military alliance. Mr. Trump appears open to connectivity initiative of a certain collaborative nature, Mr. Jaishankar said. We have a deep interest in that, he added. The minister was presumably referring to the India Middle East European Corridor यानी IMEC, which find mention in the India-US mention in the joint statement that emerged from Prime Minister Narendra Modi recent discussion with Mr. Trump at the White House. Jammu and Kashmir government to promote Bangus Valley near LOC for ecotourism के लिए उन्होंने बनाया इसको हम थोड़ा सा और पढ़ लेते हैं इसमें क्या नई चीज़ आई हमारे. The Jammu and Kashmir government on Tuesday announced a new set of rules for Bangus, a far off tourist spot near the line of actual control, the line of control (LOC) in the northern Kashmir in a bid to prom- promote it as an ecotourism destination. The decision comes in the wake of unplanned and uncontrolled growth in the traditional tourist hotspot of पहलगाम गुलमर्ग एंड सोनमर्ग में ये हमारा टूरिज्म वाला किया है सीएम अनाउंसमेंट क्या है to maintain ecological balance the department concerned has focused on avoiding construction of massive buildings and hotels the aim would be develop the area as an ecotourism destination chief minister Omar Abdullah said in the assembly he said the government will focus on creating pace recreation facilities, rain shelter, public conveyance, signage, lighting, and waste disposal facilities for visitors. Bengus lies close to the LOC in North Kashmir, Kupawa, Kupwara district after uh, Gulrez, Machil and Kiren. Bengus is one more addition to the list of tourist spots near the LOC. Once a militant infiltration route, Bengus is around 100 km away from Srinagar with two bowl-shaped valleys preset at the altitude of 10,000 feet. Work on the basic facilities according to the Mr. Abdullah would be undertaken after the Deputy Commissioner Kupwara identifies land parcels in the constellations with the Forest Department. Once the land parcels are identified, the necessary permissions and no objection certification certificate shall be shout on the grievance portal for the forest clearance, Mr. Abdullah said. Guest houses to safeguard the livelihood of local shepherds, nomads, and other inhabitants the valley, Mr. Abdullah said. The Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Department had initiated the progress of the restriction paying guest houses in area. This will help preserve and promote local culture, traditional and cuisine, and will be an immersive travel experience for tourists, he added. At present, 19 paying guest houses in the proximity of the Bengus Valley are registered with the Department of Tourism Kashmir. Fresh measures the fresh measures towards eco-tourism are being taken यहाँ पे पैसे को यूज किया as record member of tourists are visiting the valley leading to uncontrolled construction in the favorite tourist place of Pahalgam, Gulmarg and Sonmarg, posing a threat to the environment. Official told the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly that notice were issued against 269 un- unauthorized construction in Palgam over the past 2 years. The Palgam Development Authority (PDA) has been conducting demolition drives whenever necessary to curb illegal construction activity in the area. The government told the same. जो हमारी बेंगलुरु के लिए उसके लिए Women in corporate leadership, the lived reality. Once again, the world will celebrate International Women's Day on March 8, 2024. Yes. and companies will attempt to the showcase steps taken towards the inclusion and the increase of women in the workforce. Yet the light reality of women in or trying to enter the corporate workforce is starkly different. The recent instance of rolling back diversity, equality, and inclusion programs in the United States federal government, which also encourage the private sector to and and DEI preference hiring, highlighting the challenge and the barriers to यहाँ पे पहले को मेंटेन किया the challenges and the barriers to increasing women's participation in the workforce. Women who comprise 48% of corporate America workforce are reeling from the afterstroke of his disorder and are now facing the threat of identity assault, a ripple effect. It may be easy to brush aside this order as an issue that the plays only the United States. However, the effect of a dip in DEI hiring and women's exclusion can have some repercussions in all parts of today's globally connected world, regardless of where one is situated globally. Conversation relating to the participants of women in the corporate workforce are significant. While DEE may simply be a corporate machine to make small inroads into women's participation in the works, especially at an entry level. At present, even such an mechanism has not really increased women's participation in leadership roles. For in instance, in India, women have been historical mar- uh, marginalized from the workforce and comprise about 35.9% of the worker population ratio. The number is starkest at the senior and the middle management levels where women account for only 12.7% leadership role as of 2024. It is easy to brush aside there being a fabricated gestures of tokenism, where women placed in company are viewed as a sufferance or an obligation rather than finding a way at the table on their own merit. Of course, while DEE may help women make an inroad into leadership role in companies and have a semblance of level playing field, their performance and ability to consolidate their position will depend on their own performance and further normalize the presence of women at all levels of the workforce. The effect of legal mandates over the past decade, Indian legal ma- mandates can be created to help increase the presence of women in the corporate workforce, especially at the senior level. In 2014, the Companies Act 2013 mandate that at least one woman director should be placed on the board of certain less of public limited companies. And in 2015, the Security and Exchange Board in India, it means SEBI, mandate that at least one independent woman director be appointed to the board of India top 100 list companies. Thus, it is largely due to a legal mandate that companies are attempting to uphold best practice of gender diversity. The inclusion of women directors on the board of an SE 500 listed company has increased more than threefold from 5% in 2011 and 18% in 2023. Research across the world finds that organizations also greatly benefit from women in leadership roles. At a fundamental level, the presence of women increases the depth of the talent pool available in the workforce. Women provide informational diversity gained from different educational and career trajectories and distinct social and professional networks. Associations and offer participating democratic leadership styles that stimulate robust decision, drive a richer challenge, and drives greater value. Additional women tends to focus on relationship building, foster greater stakeholder commitment, and assist in formulating strategies that address stakeholder concern while also overseeing better monitoring, broader human capital management, and communication challenge which increase corporate accountability and reduce corporate risk. When companies have more women in senior management and leadership roles, they begin to appear on lists of the most admired and ethical companies, best company to work for, and best corporate citizen, thereby also serving the agenda of companies from an optics perspective and finding into the various cycle of benefits. Key identify areas where women's leaders being greater dividends are corporate government governance, strategic proposition oversight, risk management, shareholder and stakeholder value, gender and society, and environmental responsibility, all of which are important facts of the running and efficient and clean corporateship which contribute to economic party. What real changes? While token participation of women in companies may be way out for some companies to demonstrate commitment towards gender diversity in the workplace. Women are truly effective corporate leaders when they are given actual power and responsibility and not merely appointed to the position as taken for gender diversity or the serve the agenda of their male benefactors. It is only when a gender number of C-suite top level executive in organization and key managerial personnel or KMPs are women. And in addition, more independent directors and chairperson of committees of the board and board committees are women, that they are truly effective corporate leaders. Importantly, the remuneration of women, that is a party with their male counterparts, is a key indicator that women's presence in the corporate workforce is real and robust. While we do have a lot to celebrate on the occasion of Women's Day this year, it is important to keep in mind that there are still significant steps that the companies or regulators must take in order to ensure that women participation in the corporate workforce, especially in senior leadership role, is strong, contributes meaningful towards the corporate government, and is not just a token concept that is aimed at gaining brownies points from stockholders. Women's participation in the workforce must be promoted for its many benefits and must not fall victim to the dominance political narrative. And note the issue of women in the corporate workforce, especially on companies' border, is of great significance and merit deep research into various facts. Although Arbitrace is undertaking such a study which maps the patterns of women on corporate road by using quali- qualitative and quantitative research methodologies over a 10-year period involving about 1000 कंपनीज में अभी इम्प्रूवमेंट धीरे धीरे देखने को मिल रहा है. Now, is artificial intelligence affecting critical thinking skills? अब यहाँ पे जो affecting आया है ये हमारा क्या है? वर्ब है. अफेक्ट कर रहा है, अफेक्ट कर रहा है, जो भी करने का काम होता है वो वर्ब करता है. Artificial intelligence (AI) tools are increasingly being used in classrooms around the world. Last month, British universities were warned to stress test all assessment after new research revealed that almost all undergraduates are using generating AI in their studies. Last year, a study by Team Lee's EdTech revealed that overall 61% of educators in India are using AI tools. All this has given rise to fears that students will likely be accepting information at face value rather than the critical analysis. Is does the use of AI in education affecting critical thinking skills? Arun Kumar Tanjirala and Arul George Scalia discussed the question in the conversation moderated by Sai Charan. Arun Kumar, Professor Chemical Engineering IIT Tirupati and Professor Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI IIT Madras. Arul George, Professor of Law, National Law School of India Universities. Birds of a feather. The academic link between Nepal and India. We will not be silent. International Women's Day is observed every year on 8th of March, a quiz on iconic women and their achievements. This Chinese writer as a leading figure in 20th century's Chinese literature. She was known for her works exploring the struggles of women in a changing society. However, her victim led to precautions during a major political event, name the person and the event. Many of Trump's priorities were for India. First serious visit to Australia boosts cooperation on shared priorities. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan's visit to Australia has advanced cooperation on shared priorities and interoperabilities, including in maritime domain awareness, reciprocal information sharing, and deployments from each other territories, the Australian Defence Ministry said in a statement of Thursday. This is the first visit to Australia by an Indian Chief of Defence Staff Sirius, and General Chauhan was hosted in Canberra by Admiral David Johnston, the Chief of Defence Force of Australia. Discussions focused on practical ideas to release both nations' long-term vision of defense and security cooperation that enhance collective strength and contributes to both countries' security, the Australia statement said. India is a top-tier security partner for Australia, with both countries committed to working together to promote a peaceful, stable, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. The statement said the two countries have established a strong tempo of exercise and activities across maritime, land, and air dominance, working through the bilateral comprehensive strategic partnership and as trilateral and quadrilateral partnership is added. The visit underlines the value of Australia defence partnership with India. Administer, Admiral David David said in the statement, we are committed to working closely with our Indian partners to enhance our interoperability, strengthen people to people links, and further cooperation with key partners to promote regional stability and security. Ines Tarini with two women's Navy officers leave Port Stanley. Ines V. Tarini left Port Stanley in the Falkland Islands Tuesday at about 9:10 a.m. local time for its onward journey to Cape Town. Cape Town की location है. The Navy said in the statement of Thursday, the sailing vessel is on the fourth leg of an ongoing global circumnavigation by two women Indian Navy officers, Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, under the Navika Sagar Parikrama 2 expedition. INS V. Tarini arrived at Port Stanley on February 18th. During the stay, the vessel's crew undertook repairs and maintenance of the boat addressed defects occurring during the most treacherous leg of their journey, passing through dark passages. तो केप टाउन में अभी ये हमारे पहुंच चुके हैं. cautiously optimistic about FTA talks with UK. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said on Wednesday that he was cautiously optimistic that the pace of the Free Trade Agreement (FTA) talks with the UK would improve soon. India and the UK are currently discussing an FTA with talks that began in 2022, being relaunched last month under the Keir Starmer government. With the EU, we are in our third decades of trade negotiation. It's not a experience I recommended to anybody else, said Jaishankar. There was no big blunder. PM likely to visit Sri Lanka in April, launch solar power plant project. President Dissanayake during his Delhi visit last December has invited Prime Minister Modi to Sri Lanka. Maharashtra to start media monitoring center to identify misleading reports. Government launches AI Kosha repository of data to build models and tools. India growth pegged at 6.5% in FY 2026 despite challenge. India real gross domestic product (GDP) growth will be steady at 6.5% in fiscal 2026 despite uncertainties stemming from geopolitical turns and US tough actions, Krill said on Thursday. Sudan files case against UAE at the ICJ over complicity in genocide. Medical wearables tech, an early warning system for your health. Thank you